Trapped or get left behind. The new system is live. But what does this actually mean to you as a consumer? What does this mean for the commercial banks? And how is this going to affect us over the next 3 years? In today's video, I'm going to break down something that people aren't paying attention to. And I know it's very, 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 very difficult, being that the middle class was engineered to be in a position where we're so buried in debt. We're trading so much time for money that we don't have time to pay attention. So that's my whole goal with my channel as I move forward. I'm building a project behind the scenes that is going to help build financial literacy. And I'm going to need your support with that. It's going to be coming out in about the next 6 months, and it's going to go worldwide. It's going to be based around my capital DR strategy and helping people understand that the middle class was engineered, guys. The fact that the things that I'm bringing up to you are very foreign because we're indoctrinated to trade time for money, to get paid in someone else's debt. But here's the rub, is that we caught the ball, guys. We're $38 trillion in debt, 120% debt to income ratio, 1 trillion in credit card debt. We have more debt than we have income. If we were America, we would have to file bankruptcy. The biggest difference is they have a printing machine. But the problem is, and when they turn that printing machine on, your currency becomes worth less. So when you understand that you're paid in someone else's debt, you put that debt into the bank, they lend it 9 times over, and then you borrow against your future self and buy liabilities. You're never going to get out of the hole unless you understand how to adapt. That's who survives this. This is not a fear tactic. This is reality, guys. Is yes, interest rates are going to come down. They're going to print a ton of money, making your dollar worthless, as there's a massive transition happening behind the scenes. So what I have done over the past 5 years is I positioned myself to own the new rails of what I believe the financial system is going to be. But I'm not here to tell you what to invest in. I'm here to be honest with you of what I've done. But I want you to see through that process is how I beat inflation, how I got into fixed supply assets, how I navigate economic cycles, because what everybody's going to make you think is that, oh, it's different this time. It's not different this time, guys. Again, I'm going to repeat the same things over. If you don't want to hear repetition, I have a lesson that I want to share with you guys. I ran into somebody out in the public and they said, you know what? I stopped following you. And it was the greatest conversation. And I want to share this story because this might be you, right? I hear this all the time. I stopped following because you say the same thing over and over and over and over again. I said, when did you start following me? They said 2021, and then 2025, I was out. And I said, fair enough. I said, can I ask you a question? I looked him in the eyes. This is in person. And I said, how much has your life changed since 2021? And I just stared right into his eyes. And you know what he said to me? Nothing's changed. I said, in your feedback is the lesson. I repeat the same things over and over and over and over and over again, because that's how you rewire the subconscious mind. I didn't come from wealth. My family didn't come from wealth. My family was indoctrinated deeply into this debt-based system, the American trap, that taught us chasing time, trading time for money. And I'm the generational shifter. And so I have to repeat this to myself and to the public over and over again until you understand this. And what I do realize is there's 8 billion people in the world. As somebody unfollows me, okay. But that was the lesson in his diss to me, or his feedback to me. I wouldn't call it a diss. It was just feedback, and I respected it. But I said, in your feedback is the lesson. Why are you in the same position? And why has my family become financially free? Because we took our profits. We took some off the table, offense. We put it into defense. And when everybody was trying to get rich in offense, we went back and bought the fear. It's a cycle, guys. It's not the next best crypto. It's understanding economic cycles. I'm going to teach you over the next 6 to 7 months. We're going to get deep in education. I'm going to teach you the Cantillon effect, how the money goes really cheap and it gets really expensive by the time it gets to us. And we go off and we buy a car that we can't afford to impress people we don't like. We extend our mortgage out 30 years and now 50 years, and we can never get out of this trap. But these people right here, these people know the game, especially this lady right here. And she's pissed. Look at her face. So here's how the system is changing. Let me break this down. New Elizabeth Warren, the senator, calls on banking regulators to delay World Liberty Financial's bank charter until Trump cut ties. Why? Why? I would love for you to comment down. You tell me why she wants them to cut ties. Guys, World Liberty Financial, this is just a representation of how much things are changing. I want to explain to you. World Liberty Financial is decentralized finance. You are the bank. Okay. USD1 is a stable coin. Trump trumped everybody. He got his family set up, and now he's rewriting the rules. And banks are absolutely panicking right now. Okay. They're panicking because they need to get into the system before they understand that we are the system. So Trump-affiliated World Liberty Financial launches lending platform, a conflict of interest. So now they launched their lending platform that I told you guys was coming. World Liberty Financial, backed by President Donald Trump family, launches World Liberty Financial Markets, a DeFi lending platform for its USD1 stablecoin worth $3.4 billion. Even as critics point conflicts of interest tied to Trump's 800 million crypto income in 2025. Let me show you this real quick. So this is where they're going to get caught up because Trump is a very, very strategic man. Okay, let's go over here. Okay, so this is their new DeFi platform. It's actually not available in my region, but this is World Liberty Financial. Let me explain this. Okay, the product USD1, and I'm a holder. I have zero connection to World Liberty Financial other than being a token holder, right? I'm buying it every single day and every single week. It's my number 3 holding. Okay. USD1 is a stable coin. Okay. That's all that is that's not an investment. A lot of people are like, oh, I should buy USD1. That's where you would store. It's like RLUSD is Ripple stablecoin. USDC, you have USAT Tether, right? You have Circle, I think that's USDC, right? Am I getting those correct? Then you have USD1, which is World Liberty Financial stablecoin. Now, the stablecoin market, remember in 1907, which we're going to go deep into education in the next 6 months. In 1907, they started to work on the Federal Reserve in 1913 because they wanted a centralized system because everybody had their own currency. We're going back to pre-1907. Stablecoins, every bank is going to have a stablecoin. Okay. So what I want to show you here is if you look at about, so she's saying the ties, but here's something that's really important, which I showed you guys about 4 months ago. You see this right here? You see Trump. So Trump, Eric Trump, Donald Trump, Barron Trump, Steve Witkoff, Zach Witkoff, and Alex Witkoff. Okay. If we look over here, you're going to see now where it says Emirates 1. Emirates 1. So Steve Witkoff and Donald Trump Jr. are writing the rules and making the deals all over the world. Okay. Emirates means founded, but no longer part of. Trump stepped out. Steve Witkoff stepped out. Oh my gosh. Howard Lutnick, Cantor, stepped out, and they put their sons in charge. So they stepped out. They're writing the rules, and their sons are running the bank. Okay. Now they're putting their money where their mouth is. So I posted this yesterday. Prime Minister Mohammed, can't even pronounce that last name, and CDF and COAC. Okay. They are signing MOU between the government of Pakistan, SC Financial Technologies, an affiliate entity of World Liberty Financial regarding digital payments architecture for cross-border transactions with the Minister of Finance. Hope you guys are ready for this. And then I put this out to, or WFI put this out, I reposted. It says trade support pairs for Solana natively using USD1. Look what they called it, guys. Trojan trading. The Trojan horse is here, guys. Study history, the Roman days. They were clipping our coins. We were drunk in the Colosseum. You're drunk in the Colosseum. You're worried about your favorite football team. You're worried about the Super Bowl. We're worried about all this gossip. We're worried about all this stuff happening. The protesting is by design. The left and right versus the left and right, the right versus MAGA. It is all by design. It is all distractions. Take the middle ground. Okay. Remember, at the end, what is going to happen in the next 4 years? Just go look at President Trump's inauguration. Look who is behind him. I guarantee you, mark my words, save this video, is those people are going to be extremely wealthy by 2030. And the middle class is going to be struggling because they're going to monetize a bunch of debt and move down to the working poor because AI technology is going to come in, replace jobs. People aren't going to reskill. And what's going to happen is the rich are going to get way richer and the poor are going to get way poorer. Guys, the middle class is a new concept. It was socially engineered after World War II. It is a new concept. There used to be very wealthy and the workers. Okay. That's a reality. This is a hard truth to accept. That is the reality. There was very wealthy and the people who worked for the very wealthy. Okay. If the middle class was socially engineered, well, guess what? It works until it doesn't. It's done. It doesn't work anymore. You can't even buy a house. If you have to extend to 50-year mortgages, that means there's a problem. Okay. You have to extend it out 50 years now. That's a problem. There'll never be ownership. That is bad for the cycle, especially for males. That is bad for the psyche. It's bad for the mental health. It's bad for society. We have to get financial literacy. And that's what my projects is coming out. It's going to provide financial literacy to as many human beings as possible to teach them how to get out of this hole. Okay, I'm going to have you listen to this yourself. This is the verbalization of the Pakistan deal.
Bilal, would you also like to offer a few words in terms of there's still a lot of people all around the world, but even in Pakistan, who are skeptical of crypto and, they say it's volatile and whatnot. So how does this give them guarantee that the government has their back, basically?
Exactly. I would like to thank the finance minister and again welcome you guys. You see, any emerging technology has its own issues. People like to perceive it in a different manner, but what we are doing here is we are not essentially promoting, we are regulating the adoption which is already existed without any classroom, without any framework. Pakistan has ended being the third biggest market when it comes to crypto adoption. And in terms of the regulations, at the start of the year, as the Honorable Finance Minister said, we kicked things off, but now we've essentially put Pakistan on the map. And the trip with World Liberty Financial and the MOU is a testament to how Pakistan is creating an enabling environment and providing the opportunity to serious players in the industry to come and do things in a risk mitigated manner for the youth of this country, because essentially users of this technology are the third largest freelancer population. And we want to create an enabling environment. Not just that, we want to create case studies and precedents for other countries and other emerging economies to follow, because this is a decentralized technology. You cannot stop this.
Listen,
what you can do is, as the state, you can shorten the gap in terms of the intellectual capacity. And why is this required? Why is this the future of finance? And we want Pakistan to live on chain, because the youth of the country is already living in stable coins, living on chain. All we are trying to do is to create an enabling environment so serendipity can occur, and it adds to our economic progress.
You can't stop it, guys. You can't stop it. Okay. Adapt or get left behind. I'm telling you guys, I'm trying to give you I'm not going to tell you what to invest in, but I'm going to give you the blueprint. Do those guys look familiar? Look at guys. Gotta pay attention to what's happening. Okay. We're protesting out in the street as a Trojan horse is coming in. And we look at Ripple, guys. Okay. Ripple, the momentum, 75 plus license and regulations, registrations worldwide, 95 billion plus volume processed to date, reaching 90% of daily FX markets. Okay. Okay, so what do we do about this? Like, that's the key. Now, what I'm teaching you guys is what's called Capital DR. I've trademarked it, okay? I don't care what you invest in. What I truly, truly care from the bottom of my heart is so you understand what we've been indoctrinated into, number one. Number two is how to rewire that, right? And I'm trying to simplify it so that the general public who is working 8 hours a day away from their family and only has 15 to 20 to 30 minutes to digest this information, because I'm maybe speaking to you. You're listening to all these different YouTubers and they're giving you price predictions and all this stuff, and you're jumping and you're waiting. That's not how winning is done, guys. It's just not. It's done through discipline, consistency, playing offensive and defensive. And I finally figured out a way to explain this. Okay. So number one is you need to have tracking. You need to know what the hell's going on. Okay. You need to have an exit plan. Okay. Stop listening to these people to tell you to hold on to everything and never exit. You got to have an offensive and a defensive plan. When offensive is doing well, which is the things that go up and down in the markets, pull off into defensive because there's economic cycles. 10, 10, 20, 25 was the greatest example. You don't want a vertical strategy. You don't want to be in just one asset. That is ridiculous. Everything cycles. You build defense. Richest man in Babylon. It's in the Bible, guys. Richest man in Babylon, the wisdom of King Solomon in the Bible. Okay, you need diversification. Money wants to be fluid. You need to be giving back. There's a lot of energetic frequency things to money. When the person buried it, what happened, guys? Do your research. It's because of cycles. That's how it works. You see these waves on here? Okay, so this is Merlin, smartest way to track crypto. I'm the co-founder and creator. The beautiful thing about this is it keeps your assets safe in regards to, I only look at Merlin when I'm traveling around, okay? Merlin is an interface. We don't hold your keys. Crypto pulls all your exchanges in one place, so it organizes everything, okay? We also show you how to set up exit plans. Okay, when you go here, you see all your exchanges in one place is our demo account. You click exit, you can set up exit targets that help you calmly exit on the way up. We send you an alert, okay? We teach you how to do this stuff. You go here, these are all the exchanges that can be connected in interface. Remember, it's not, if somebody hacks Merlin, they're hacking data. It's not, we don't hold your crypto, it's an interface, okay? So it's a great way to track your crypto. We show you how to do an exit plan. We have customer service, and you can try it 30 days for free down in the description of my YouTube video or my social media platform. I'm the co-founder and creator of Merlin, the smartest way to track your crypto, okay? So let's talk a little bit about offensive and defensive in capital DR, okay? Offensive is something you're scoring, you're trying to score a touchdown, right? Defensive is you're protecting those wins, okay? So let's start with C in capital DR, it's cash flow, okay? Cash is trash, guys. US dollars collapse 96 to 97%. It's an illusion that you think you have money in your bank account. They don't have our money. It's numbers in a computer that just keep getting lent. It's just monetization of debt. The only way for us to keep the system going is debt expansion. That's it. So of course a 50-year mortgage makes sense. Of course, lowering interest rates so that you can have, he's like, we're going to bring credit cards down to 10%. So you'll use your credit cards more. Right? You'll use your credit cards more. You'll go on more cruises. You'll, stay in the hotels more. It's all the stuff that makes the wealthy wealthier. So there is a moment where you got to get your shit together, man. You got to create a budget. If you have 2 cars, why do you have 2 cars? Get to go down to 1. You have a $700 car payment and you make $60,000 a year. That's a problem. Okay. If you make $30,000 a year, you should have a paid off car. If you make $100,000 a year and you drive a car that's $50,000 or more, that's a problem. Okay. Even if you make 100 grand, you should be driving a paid off car. I have no personal vehicles. They're all through my business, and I made my life business. Business is the greatest way to build wealth. Okay. I have 0 credit card debt. 0. This is something I'm very strict about. Okay. I only have a little bit of personal debt. It'll actually be paid off next week. I run 0 personal debt. Well, let's say next week, to be fully transparent, it went up a little bit and I'm going to pay it off. And I run debt on the liability side that creates assets. That's it. Okay. It took me a while to get here, and I create my living expenses as 15% of my overall income. So if you see my lifestyle change, this is discipline, guys. Okay. This is how winning is done. So how I built wealth was when crypto went up, it was unrealistic. I was in my old frame of mind. I'm like, wait, this is unrealistic. This is going up fast. Turned 3,000 into 30 into 300. And then it was like, whoa, it just shot up. And I was like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, this is unnatural. This is unnatural on how money actually works. Money compounds every 7 years at 10%. So when something is unnatural, okay, very important, key rule, get some off the table and put it into something that is natural, that has defense to it. That's the middle ground. So C is cash flow. So I created cash flow for my profits, and I continue to do that every single week, every single month, every single quarter, and anytime my offensive goes up. So I have businesses. I created 6 companies. 3 are in heavy cash flow now, and it took me a while. But this is important. As my income increased, I went from making 100,000 to I do videos on it where I'm being very open with you guys. So I was making $100,000 a year. Then I was making, I'm in the top 1% now. But that gap from $118,000 salary to where I'm at now, a millionaire, my lifestyle is the same percentage of that. Does that make sense? So my lifestyle is 15% of my overall income, and I invest all the rest. My old self, when I made $30,000 a year as a banker with a 1997 Honda Civic, I was living the dream in an apartment. I had a bunch of money. By the time I was an executive, I had a bunch of stuff and I was broke. I made more money when I was a banker at $36,000 a year, and I was making well over 6 figures, but I had a bunch of cool shit to impress people I didn't like. That was the difference this time. I grew up and I was like, okay, every time I make more income, I'm going to invest more. Now I'm living a different lifestyle because it's 15% of my income. Does that make sense? I hope this makes sense. I just really want to drive this home. So some of you may need to cut back. And, you know, my kids went through all this with me. We were lean and mean, man. Our first vacations were hiking up this little mountain and having a picnic and watching the sunset. And now we go to theme parks and we do different things, but it's still the same percentage of lifestyle. Does that make sense? So that's an important lesson right there. So when I get paid income, which is debt, I transmute it into more cash flow. I use dividend stocks. Okay. Dividend stocks, there's, you know, high risk, there's medium risk, there's Coca-Cola, there's Apple, there's, you know, you can look at Michael Saylor's preferred stocks now. There's so many ways with dividend stocks you can get paid. Okay. So I created scaled businesses, income, debt coming in, dividends, debt coming in. I take that debt, the US dollar, which is debt, and I move it into assets, A, which is offensive. Okay. I use XRP, Bitcoin, WLFI, Solana, HBAR, VeChain, Stockside, ABTC, XXI. And now, okay, so that's, that's the offensive side because I'm going to go into defense real quick. So those are offensive assets that go up and beat inflation. I'm moving my deflationary dollar into assets that I believe are going to beat inflation. They all have beat inflation for me. When they go up, except Bitcoin is going to go into L and defense. I pull profits on the way up using Merlin. Boom, boom, boom. I pull it down into defensive protection. Protection looks like this for me. Cash value life insurance, guaranteed principal. Okay. Leverage, that's the key. Permanent life insurance and market-like returns. I have protected principal, so it has an offensive and defensive mixed in. It's the greatest investment in the world, and it's protected. Okay. Now I'm getting into copper, dollar cost averaging into silver. Those are two protection, defense. Okay, now we're playing defense. Okay, so we got copper, we got silver. I'm doing Berkshire. That's going to be my safety, stability, and longevity. So Berkshire, copper, silver, insurance. Okay, that's protection. Then you got leverage. Do you remember I told you? Personal side, debt free. Leverage side is only if I'm going to buy assets or cash flow. Okay. So when the offensive, everybody's trying to get rich quick with price predictions and waiting for a savior, and 10, 10, 25 comes, you get lied to. 10, 10, 25 comes, it comes collapsing down. I'm borrowing and I'm going back into offense. Richest man in Babylon, multiplying. So now the offense goes up, boom, I pull off, I pay off the leverage, defense. That's how winning is done. And then I de-risk, I de-risk off of offense anytime I see a cycle coming. When you're sitting at the barbershop and everybody's trying to get rich quick and everybody's saying they're getting into crypto, that's when you probably should be thinking about exiting. Okay. You're not going to catch the top. You're not going to catch the bottom. You should be calmly entering on the way down and calmly exiting on the way up. And don't gamble your money. Okay. Don't be greedy. You're going to get wrecked. That's it. And I know it's not sexy and I know it's not fun, but it's so worth it. It's so worth it because when you're disciplined and consistent and you follow a system, I always say this, an idiot with a plan will beat a genius with no plan every single time. That's how freedom is created. So every time I put my head on the pillow, I know that I've repeated the same thing over and over and over again. It's predictable. So when I open my eyes every day, I know exactly what's going to happen based on the seeds that I planted. So I'm already predicting where I'm going to be at my net worth in 2029. I know where my spiritual walk's going to be in 2029. I know where my physical walk's going to be in 2029. I know where it's going to be in 2020, end of 2026, 2027, because I'm planting the seeds. I'm not waiting for price predictions or saviors or people to manage my money or all these different things. And I've been saying this for a long time to get out of that hype. I was there, guys. I was waiting for 589 XRP. I was waiting for Jasara. I was waiting for, it's all a psyop, guys. It's all a trick. When you realize it's you, when you realize it's the middle ground, when you realize there's been over 30 major market collapses for 200 years, you finally say, you know what? Fuck waiting for people, man. Screw them. I'm not waiting for someone to save me. I'm going to be a warrior in a garden in my own house. I'm going to get in the best shape of my life physically. I'm going to make sure that my family gets their spiritual walk and their studies from me. I'm going to educate my son, who is going to be, he's 10 years old, and I pulled him out of the schooling system. My daughter lives with me, is 21, already an investor. I was just sitting down with her and discussing her life insurance policy and compounding yesterday. I am controlling their education, empowering them to be the stewards of our wealth. It is a critical time right now, guys. Don't get left behind. I love you guys. I appreciate you so much. So if you need any support at all, we do have a badass education academy. I'm very, very proud of it. We help 14,000 people worldwide. We're educators. We do not invest people money. Anybody reaching out to you, we don't broker people's money. We don't invest people's money. We educate people on Capital DR, the system, right? It's an education system. We empower you to make your own decisions. We're about empowerment. We don't let people manage our money. We learn cycles and we move our own money, right? We're all about protection, family banks, things like that. So all the resources are down below on my social media platform or in my social media platform or this YouTube channel. Remember, if you ever see a video of me pointing and it's like, oh, Web3, blah, 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 that's all scams. Those are scammers. You don't need to move your money to a Web3 wallet. You're going to get scammed. I don't have an investment platform. Those are scammers. Anybody reaching out to you, talking about your crypto proactively, scammers. They're using AI technology. It's not us. Be very, very careful. I only have, my channels are verified, except on TikTok. That's the only one that we're not verified on. If it doesn't have the blue check mark, it's not verified. It's not me. I'll never reach out to you and ask about your crypto. We will respond to you based on you reaching out to us, wanting to coach with our team. That's it. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. As we always say, Warriors, rah, let's get your shit together. God bless you.